Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to be talking about the Lansky sharpening system. When I originally got into knives, the first sharpening system that I got was the Spyderco Sharpmaker, and for some reason it just didn't work very well for me. I didn't really care for it, so I went searching for other systems. I didn't really want to spend a lot of money, and I came across the Lansky. And this is really the first system that really worked well for me. I could get like a beautiful hair shaving sharp edge, and it didn't break the bank buying it. I've had a few of my subscribers have asked me now what system I would recommend that isn't maybe on par with an Edge Pro or a Wicked Edge, but something a little bit easier than just a whetstone. And my favorite system for that price point is a Lansky. These can be had on eBay for in and around the $40 range. I think that this one, the MSRP is $50, $49.99. This is the deluxe system. This is the one that I would recommend. You can also get smaller systems and diamond systems and whatnot. And this is the one that I'd recommend. This is the deluxe 5-stone system. And I'll show you what's inside, if I can get it open. Okay, so inside you've got your honing oil, you've got all of your rods, one for each of your stones. This one I've actually substituted one of the stones. This is the extra coarse. As you can see, I've substituted the extra coarse diamond. I found that the extra coarse I wasn't too happy with that particular stone from the original set, because I used that for reprofiling. So I went to a diamond stone just for the extra coarse though. All the other stones are great. So you've got the 70 grit, which is the extra coarse, the 120, which is the coarse. You've got your medium is 280, fine is 600, and extra fine is the 1000 grit. Also inside you have your honing guide. This guide is what locks down your knife and provides a guide for your rods to give you an exact angle for your edge. And it would, so starting at the bottom, you'd have 17 degree, 20 degree, 25 degree, and 30 degree angles. Obviously the steeper your angle, the more suited it is for abuse, and the shallower your angle, the sharper you can get it, but it's not so great for edge retention. So I figured the best thing to do to show you how good this system is to sharpen something. And since my wife didn't want me to sharpen one of our hand-forged butter knives, I came across this. We all know what this is. This is a reciprocating saw blade. So an old beat-up one. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how to sharpen stuff, pretending that this is a knife. Obviously it's not sharp at all on the spine. It is what it is. So this is how the system works. You take your clamp, and as you can see, there is a little spot in the front that you lock your blade into. You want to try to get it as centered as possible, which I think that is. And then what I do is I just snug up the rear screw and then tighten down the front, and you should be in nice and solid. Now this is something that I would recommend. I know you can also get a stand for this, but what I like to use is my handy dandy little vise. It just locks everything in nicely. Let's see if I can get the camera the right way here. Okay. So now, I'm assuming that I would want to be reprofiling this to begin with, obviously. So what I do is you take your coarsest stone, and now the trick is you want consistency in your angle. So you want to make sure that you set up the way that you set your guides is the same in every single grit. And what I do is I come from underneath, open it up a bit, come from underneath, and then I set it on a nice flat surface, like that. Pull it down and tighten it up, so that the bottom of the stone is even with the bottom of the rod. Now this particular one, normally I'll just go straight on the 25-degree angle. That seems to be perfect for me for pocket knives, which is the second one down. And you know what? I'll use that one. So basically what you do is you want to make sure that the rod stays, like there is some up and down play here. So what I do is I put my finger over top just to kind of put a little bit of pressure on it so it stays on the bottom. It doesn't matter if it's going side to side, but it does matter if it's going up and down. So I just hold everything like that, and you work in a back and forth motion, but you also do a little bit of side to side. So kind of crescent moves. I'm already starting to get a nice bevel there. Now I should note too that the diamond stone you don't need to put oil on. So all the other ones I'll need to put oil on, with the exception of this one. Well, you see it's loosening up, which it does from time to time, because you are putting different forces on it, side to side forces. Just as long as it's still flat, you're good to go. Okay, now I've started to get a bevel on this side. Now all you do is you flip it over on the other side. Obviously you don't need to go through all this work on your knives, but one thing about this system is that you can't match up the original factory bevel. So basically the first time that you sharpen your knives at this, choose an angle, and you're going to need to reprofile it to that angle. Hopefully it'll already be close, but you will want to reprofile it, and then it'll get much easier as time goes on every time you sharpen it, because it will already be at that angle. progress here. You can see that there's plenty of shavings coming off. This is rather tough steel. And what I'm doing over here, just because there's so much flex in it, I'm just kind of supporting it with my thumb underneath as I'm holding this down, just so that if it does flex, it will change the angle, obviously. And another thing about this system is that the further out you are, the angle does change. So you have to keep that in mind as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off with this, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I just worked this over for about 5 minutes. This is really the hardest part of this this whole thing is reprofiling, because you're removing so much metal. Now I've got it a proper bevel on it. It's even on both sides. It's not you know, really sharp yet. It's very, very coarse. So but I find that when you start working your way down through the grits, it gets progressively quicker to get it going. So now we're going down to the coarse. Again, we're making sure that the stone is at the same angle, or the same level as the guide rod. Nice and tight. Now we need the oil. So what I do is I just put a very little bit of oil on, rub it in with your finger. This is where the whole system starts getting a little bit messy, because it gets quite dirty. Always keep a rag handy. And back at it. The extra coarse leaves some very, very deep scratches. Again, it's 70 grit, which is very, very sharp. Or very, very coarse, I should say. So now it's just a matter of refining your edge and progressively making the scratches in your edge bevel smaller and smaller until it's basically a mirror finish. It's also, I find, on the coarse grit where you can start to feel your burr forming. No burr yet. And what I usually do is I clean it off, because the stone gets all nasty. I just wipe it off, and there's still enough oil on there to do the other side. I also like to do kind of the cutting part of my stroke is forward. When I'm bringing it back, it's basically just riding the back, and then I'm actually putting slight pressure going forward. So it's like... It's also, when you start using the oil, you can actually see metal being removed. you actually have a visual indicator, because right along where you're grinding, it comes off. It kind of shaves the oil off of the top of your stone and leaves it on the blade. Like I said, it gets a bit messy, but that's what you have to pay for having a really wicked sharp blade. I definitely recommend some form of device to hold your guide. It really makes things a lot easier. You want to make sure that you're grinding about the same amount off of each different side, so you don't end up with a lopsided bevel. So I'll just finish up with this stone and I'll be right back. Okay, now we're back. I've worked up a very small burr. So every time you work up a burr, you want to knock it down with the next level of grit. So now I'm onto the medium. Oil. And we're taking off all the scratches caused by the course. Now the metal in this saw blade isn't like knife blade steel, and the carbides aren't the same, so it doesn't really, I don't know how sharp I'm going to be able to get it. I'm hoping to be able to get it as sharp as I normally get things. But depending on the chemical makeup of the steel, it may not have the right size or type of carbides for cutting. Because I can only assume that this is made for toughness rather than hardness. Hardness, it would be very brittle, and you'd probably just break it off. Whereas toughness, it's got more flexibility, and it just won't keep an edge longer. I think they actually differentially temper these saw blades as well, just so that just the teeth are very, very hard. So it's kind of a Zen process, you know, just progressively getting finer and finer shine on your edge bevel. Again, you want to cut on the forward stroke and keep checking for your burr. It should work up quite nicely. It may require a bit of work, a little bit of elbow grease, but you'll find that your edge bevel is very, very even. Unless you're sharpening a large knife where you're going to be way out, then your bevel's going to change, or your bevel angle. It's starting to get sharp. It's not until the The two fine stones that you get really, really sharp though. The last stone, I believe it's an Arkansas stone actually, or a ceramic of some sort. It just basically polishes the edge. So yeah, basically what you do is you basically just get the angle that you want. Once you've got it right down to a point, all you're doing is you're working out the scratches, progressively making those scratches smaller and smaller and smaller, because your edge is already formed. As you make those scratches smaller, it's going to refine your edge. I'm just going to work on this for a bit and I'll be right back. Okay, now we're on to the fine stones. One of the things that I do as well is I'll actually clean these out with WD-40. The WD-40 has a nice spray action that seems to clean the stones out very nicely, and you can really use any kind of oil to sharpen. WD might be a little bit on the thin side, but it'll certainly work. Any oil will work. 3-in-1 is perfect. I've used 3-in-1 very often. But the oil just basically helps keep the stone from clogging up with debris. So now we're on to our fine. And you'll be able to tell a lot from the sound as well. I don't know how well this camera will pick up the sound, but you can actually hear it cutting. And after a while of working on the same bevel, the sound changes because it's no longer cutting as much. Yeah, it's right now I would say it's about as sharp as a new box cutter, maybe a little bit sharper. Now we're just taking out all those scratches, and the edge is starting to get a very nice fine polished look to it. I also recommend, if you're using a system like this, to invest in a strop, as the difference that a strop makes at the very last step of your sharpening process, it's substantial. It's you can really notice the difference that stropping makes. Also, now that the blade is starting to get sharp, you're wanting to be very, very careful with your fingers, because your fingers are there is really no guard, so you could really cut yourself. So you want to make sure that you're being very, very safe. You don't need a lot of oil at all, just enough to very lightly coat the surface of the stone. Still feel my burr, although it's getting finer and finer. Now this system, just because it's oil, it is somewhat messy. Expect to get your hands all oily. I find that dish soap cleans up your hands cleans up oily hands very well. I used to work for a company that had a shop where we worked on ambulances, and even the mechanics usually preferred dish soap to pretty much any other thing for getting oil off their hands. See, now we're getting a nice fine edge. I think we could probably even just drop right down to the fine stone, the finest stone, the extra fine stone I should say. It's white and very smooth. I'd also like to mention that if you want to see some good videos with this system, check out Sinric77's channel. I know that he uses this system and gets a very decent result. There's a few people that use them, and they're pretty much foolproof. If you kind of know what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish, and you have some common sense and a little bit of patience, you'll really get some really good results. And that's why I like it. I mean, for a system $40, I mean, that's really how much does a Tenacious cost? A Spyderco Tenacious, about the same price. So you get one of these systems. Granted, you're not going to get the diamond one. You can buy extra individual stones as well. So if you find that one's not working, you can try a different one. Get into the diamond stuff if you want. But for $40, you're putting a beautiful edge on your knives. Really, the downsides is that you're stuck with the 4 different angles, so you can't match a factory edge. Also, because the blade is locked down, the further you get out, or the thicker the blade stock is this way, the angle is going to change. So you're never going to be exactly like I'm working at 25 degrees right now. That would be 25 degrees to the edge of this, I'm guessing. I don't know for sure. I find 25 degrees, however, to be like the 25 degree setting to be the best for, pocket knives and utility knives. If you were going to get motivated and do your kitchen knives, you'd go to the lowest setting, the shallowest edge. And then you'll get that wicked tomato slicing sharp edge. So as you can tell by just the sound, this really isn't doing a lot. It's really just buffing out those final scratches and putting a almost mirror edge on it. Yeah, now she's getting scary sharp. As your edge polish, as it gets more and more polished, it gets more and more scary sharp. And This is actually one of the reasons why I'm not so big on cutting paper with knives, unless you're demonstrating a factory sharpness. Really, I think that most factories put out a paper cutting sharp edge, but I mean, all you need is a system like this, and you're like blasting through phone book paper, no problem. So to me, it's really not all that special. I will demonstrate this one because I mean, this is a saw blade that I'm sharpening up, and I'm sure that it'll be good enough to get through some phone book paper. But I mean, all you need is a system like this. Basically all you need is $40, and all of your knives should be, you know, paper cutting sharp. Okay, and that's really all that you need to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to whip out my handy dandy little strop. Maybe I'll move this this vise. Again, I really highly recommend having a vise to lock everything down. You can get one of these at a hobby shop for next to nothing, and it's much handier for more than just this, but especially for this. So I'm just going to pull this off. Now, let's see how we did. It'll be a little bit difficult to strop. I should have left that thing up. Another reason that I like this. Makes stropping so much easier too. I like to use both hands when I'm stropping. I find that you have a lot more control, especially with something like this. I haven't put any fresh compound on here or anything. This isn't not really it's not quite shaving yet. Kind of difficult to strop this. There we go. Starting to pop a few hairs now. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all this up. I'm going to reset the camera so you can see a little bit better, and I'll be right back with you. All right, so as you can see, I put a decent edge on it. It's not really the best edge because the steel isn't very hard. It's very tough, but it's not very hard. As well as this blade is actually pretty warped. I noticed that afterwards. So it's not as deadly sharp as I can get a knife. But it would certainly suffice in a pinch. Let's see if I can just give you a bit better view of it. As you can see, it's relatively polished. Really didn't strop it all that much, but it did get a bit of a stropping. The blade's still really nasty from all the work that I think I used it on a decking project or something, I don't know, maybe not. But yeah, it does have a decent edge on it. The bevel is even all the way across, as it should be. And so let's see how it cuts paper. I don't know how well you can see that. With a system like this, you can put an edge on anything. And that's why paper cutting just, you know, anybody can do it if they've got this system. So all in all, for the price, this is what you should go for. 40 bucks. You've got everything you need. All it takes is a little bit of elbow grease, and you can have a perfect bevel every single time. Nicely polished. The only thing that I would get in addition to this is a strop, and you will get an edge as good as anything out there with this and a strop. So all in all, I highly recommend the Lansky system, especially this 5-stone deluxe. This is the one that I would go for. Again, I said there was a 3-stone one. It doesn't have your ultra fine or your extra coarse. It just has these 3. So definitely these 2 stones are important. This one for reprofiling and this one for finishing your edge. And for 40 bucks, $40 to $45, you can't go wrong. You really can't. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.